Been an incredibly active Atlantic hurricane season. With all the talk about Maria, you may forget that Jose's still spinning off the coast. You're looking at water vapor imagery, and this shows that very apparent swirl of what is now kind of a quasi-tropical system. It's still got outer rain bands, but it's looking less and less like a hurricane. It's actually a tropical storm with winds around 70 miles per hour, still battering New York up through Boston. And then you drop down south. That's the main player. That, of course, is Maria, that's made its way across Puerto Rico this morning and is now starting to slowly emerge some of that deeper moisture, the convection still holding on the northern side of it. So it's still a Category 4, but it is down, way down from its peak at a Category 5. And at landfall, 155 mile per hour winds earlier this morning around about 6:15. So let's go on a tour and check it out as it made its way west. This is Vieques. It just grazed that tiny island, and this is just around 6:30. Made official landfall around 6:15 this morning and is just battering, and you can see it moving across as the eye becomes obscured with cloud cover, just battering Puerto Rico. So as of early this afternoon, starting to work its way back off the northern shoreline there and eventually out to sea, and eventually it'll start to regather itself and likely strengthen again. Now, this is the radar from Puerto Rico. We got to go back 12 hours to show you the approach. And just as that eye was making landfall, there was an eye wall replacement cycle underway. Boom, radar goes out. So there hasn't been much in the way of radar data out of that storm. It's all relying on satellite imagery now until they get it back online. Hurricane warnings continue for Puerto Rico. Obviously, we've also got them in the north shore of the Dominican Republic, and also now a hurricane warning. There was a watch earlier this morning for some of those eastern Turks and Caicos Islands there. And then as you track north, there's still just one little batch lingering of a tropical storm warning running just to the east of Boston there as you head out towards Cape Cod. So what we're going to see is a continuation of this track of Maria working its way off the north shore of Puerto Rico and then eventually grazing the islands and working its way out north. And the big concern here, as we've been talking about for days, is where does it go? Where exactly is it going to end up? Well, in the Atlantic for sure, in a weakened state, but still could be a major hurricane by Sunday morning, well off the Florida coast, and then possibly a Category 2 somewhere off the Carolina coast. And then the big question is what happens beyond that, and we've still got a while to wait to see how that's going to work itself out. So right now, Puerto Rico is just getting hammered. The Max Track Live is clear. We may see an isolated shower or thunderstorm later on today. It's trying to develop it, so keep an eye out. The big deal remains the heat. Can you believe? First day of fall, the autumnal equinox Friday. Look at what the highs are doing. Mid, even at times upper 80s. Our average at the peak of summer, where it tops out and then holds and levels off, 86 degrees, and we're shooting for around that. So, yeah, it may be fall by the calendar Friday. We've been into meteorological fall for a while now. It's just not feeling like it anytime soon. Partly sunny and isolated shower storm out there today. Mid-80s tomorrow. Mid-80s the day after. Mid-80s, get used to it. The leaves may be falling, but it's still feeling like we should be jumping in the pool. Mid to upper 80s over the weekend, and really not a raindrop in sight beyond the isolated shower and storm threat we'll see today and possibly into tomorrow as well.
Hey, what's the problem? What's the problem? All right, Tom, thank you.